It's 9 o'clock. Welcome to Story Time with Mama Jen and friends. Quinny's here tonight to help us with the pages and with reading. Our story tonight is Walt Disney's Fun to Read Library, Volume 3, Pinocchio's Promise, a Walt Disney beginner reader. Come on, let's read. One day, Geppetto the woodcarver finished making a cuckoo clock. He held it up proudly. Pinocchio, Jiminy, come see this beautiful clock. I made it for Mrs. Romano.
Mama will do it.
It looks okay, said Pinocchio.
Mama, I can turn the pages.
Okay. My poor boy, you are so bored while I work, said Geppetto. But now I have some work for you. Take this clock to Mrs. Romano. Then come home as fast as you can. Promise? I promise, said Pinocchio. He took the clock and skipped away. Pinocchio did not see Gideon and Foulfellow, but they saw him and the clock. That's one beautiful clock, said Gideon. Oh, it must be worth a lot of money, said Foulfellow. How can we get our hands on it? Pinocchio stopped to read a circus poster. I wish I could see the circus, he said aloud. My, said Foulfellow softly. Look what we have here. He picked up 2 old circus tickets from the street. Let's see if Pinocchio will fall for a little trick. Pinocchio, dear boy, said Foulfellow. I have 2 tickets for the circus, but I cannot go. Would you like to go instead? Oh, yes, thank you, said Pinocchio. Pinocchio, called Jiminy, what about your promise to Geppetto? Pinocchio sighed. Sorry, I cannot go, he said. I have to take this clock to Mrs. Romano. I will do that, said Foulfellow grandly. Here are the tickets. Enjoy the circus. And with that, Foulfellow grabbed the clock, and Gideon pulled Pinocchio off to the circus. When Pinocchio got to the circus, he did not see Gideon leave him and hide. Pinocchio handed his ticket to the ticket man. Why, this is an old ticket. You think you can fool me? Asked the angry ticket man. In shame, Pinocchio ran through the circus. He just wanted to get away from the ticket man. Pinocchio ran, and very soon he was lost. And now Jiminy Cricket was nowhere to be found. Pinocchio stopped to catch his breath. Whoosh! Suddenly he was covered with water. 2 huge elephants wanted to play.
There was stumbles and everything.
Pinocchio ran away, dripping wet.
That's Dumbo.
It could have been Dumbo's mother. Maybe. Next, he ran into 3 happy clowns. Let's have some fun, shouted the clowns. They picked up Pinocchio. They threw him up high. Help! Shouted Pinocchio. Just then, a clown threw him way up. Pinocchio flew through the air. Oh, poor Pinocchio. He's having a rough day. Oh, said Pinocchio. He had landed on the back of a beautiful white horse. Stay and ride with me, said the girl on the horse's back. No thank you, said Pinocchio. I must find Jiminy Cricket. He jumped off the horse and landed with a thump on the ground. Then along came the circus strong man.
Ha! What have we got here? He laughed.
Please put me down, cried Pinocchio.
Okay, said the strong man with a hearty laugh. Ha ha ha!
Then he dropped Pinocchio into a pile of hay. Pinocchio wondered where to go now. He just had to find Jiminy. Suddenly, a lion tamer came running out of a nearby tent. Pinocchio heard screams coming from inside. Pinocchio crept up to the tent. What's going on in there? He wondered. Pinocchio crawled all the way into the tent. Suddenly, he heard the roar of a crowd around him. He was in the middle of a circus ring. The bright lights made Pinocchio blink. He did not see the lion, ready to spring. The lion jumped. He caught Pinocchio in his huge paw. He opened his mouth. Pinocchio saw the lion's big white teeth. The lion sniffed at Pinocchio.
He thought, it smells like a little boy. But it smells like wood. Why, it smells just like the old wooden ball I used to play with.
And the lion began to purr. He rolled over on his back. He held Pinocchio in the air. And then he turned over on his stomach and fell asleep. The people could not believe their eyes. Very, very carefully, the ringmaster crept up to the lion. Very, very carefully, he put a collar around the lion's neck. Then he pulled gently on the collar. The lion got up. He followed the ringmaster like a big kitten. Oh. Pinocchio stood up and brushed himself off. The crowd cheered. Yay! Yay! Pinocchio did not know what to do next. He jumped out of the ring and ran away. Jiminy Cricket ran after him.
Pinocchio, where have you been? I've been looking for you everywhere.
Just then, Pinocchio ran right into the ringmaster.
How did you get in that tent? The ringmaster asked. You could have been hurt. What if the lion had bitten you?
Pinocchio felt ashamed. He knew that he was just a bad boy. He had gotten into the circus without a ticket, and he was not even supposed to be at the circus. Pinocchio turned and ran away. Jiminy Cricket ran after him.
Pinocchio, he called, wait for me. Don't keep running away. Remember your promise to Geppetto.
Oh, the clock, gasped Pinocchio.
Yes, we must get the clock back from Foulfellow before something terrible happens to it, cried Jiminy.
Pinocchio and Jiminy hurried back to town. Smack! Pinocchio ran right into a policeman.
What's your hurry, young man?
Asked the policeman. Pinocchio told the policeman about Foulfellow and the clock.
I'll bet that rascal foul fellow is trying to sell it, said the policeman. Let's get him. The policeman blew his whistle. He waved his stick. Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket followed close behind him. There he is, shouted the policeman. Foul fellow was just about to sell the clock. Then he saw the policeman and Pinocchio running toward him. He threw the clock up in the air and ran. The policeman chased him. He was still shouting and waving his stick. Pinocchio jumped and reached for the clock, and he caught it just in time. Phew, that was a close one, he sighed. Let's take the clock to Mrs. Romano right now. Mrs. Romano was very happy to see Pinocchio and her new clock, and Pinocchio was very happy to give it to her at last. When Pinocchio got back, he found Geppetto waiting in their little house. Pinocchio, where have you been? I was going to take you and Jiminy to the circus today. Now it is too late, said Geppetto. We stopped to learn a lesson along the way, said Jiminy Cricket. Next time, we'll stick to our promises. Won't we, Pinocchio? Pinocchio nodded his head. Next time, I'll keep my promise. I promise.
Let's do another book.
What a good story.
Just coming your way.
Pinocchio's promise. That's all for tonight. Are we ready to do our goodnight song?
No, I have to do one more book. It says, coming your way.
Coming your way. Okay, let's see what's coming our way. Well, look at all these books coming our way. We'll be reading these over time, won't we?
Coming your way.
Yeah.
Volume 4, Goofy Speak Ways.
Yeah. Don't forget to join us every night at 9 o'clock for a new story.
One more book.
And now, it's time to say good night. Good night. Sleep tight. Sweet dreams. I love you. Sing with me. Good night. Sleep tight. Sweet dreams. I love you. I love you. Good night.